I just have to test audio levels now. So if you could just tell me, like, I don't know, like the story of Jack and the Beanstalk or something.
Jack and the Beanstalk, one of the many nursery rhymes that I can relate to.
I do know Jack and the Beanstalk very well.
Once upon a time, there was a little boy named Jack, and he lived in a little house with his mom, whose name was Jack's mom.
And he lived with his mother and his favorite cow in the world. And they were a very poor family, and they didn't have a lot of, like, money to pay for food or things like that.
And his mom is like, hey, this cow is old. Go try to sell this cow for some monies because we're low on cash.
And he's like, oh my god, no, I don't want to sell my cow. Milky White's my best friend. I only know Into the Woods.
And Jack's mom was like, someday we can buy her back. And Jack was like, okay. And he was like, okay, Milky White, I'll come back for you someday, but I have to sell you. And she was like, moo.
So Jack starts going to the market, and he walks in through the woods to get there. And as he's walking through the woods, he comes across this creepy old man with a fun little cloak.
This person's like, oh my god, like, I'll give you some beans for your cow. And Jack, the fucking idiot's like, what a great trade.
Magic beans, hell yeah! And then he goes and then he takes those beans. And then he's like, here, take the cow. And then made that exchange because the bartering system was nice. And they made that exchange, and Jack came home and was like, hey mom, I sold the cow. And the mom was like, great, where's the cash? And he was like, no cash.
5 magic beans! We'll never have to worry about anything again.
His mom's like, oh my god, Jack, you've made a terrible mistake.
You idiot.
You are stupid. What are we gonna do now? We can't live off of 5 beans.
And then Jack was like, they're magic. You grow them and then magic stuff happens. And then his mom's like, Jack!
She takes the beans and she throws them out the window, and he's like, ah! He goes to bed that night and he's really sad because, you know, he doesn't have his cow, he doesn't have his magic beans.
Whatever, he goes to sleep, he's sad, he's a boy, they're poor.
But that night, while he was sleeping, the beans started to grow and grow and grow. And when Jack woke up the next morning, there was a huge beanstalk in his backyard.
And he's like, wow, look at this beanstalk.
Oh my god, wild idea, I climb it into the clouds.
So he climbs the beanstalk, and at the top of it, he goes up to the clouds, and in the top there's a giant. There's a giant, and Jack's like, whoa.
And then he's like, there are giants in the sky.
And the giant went, fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Something bones, crush their bones to make my bread. And something about blood, I think. Jack was like, oh no, I better get out of here. But then he saw like a fancy harp, I think. And he was like, ooh, I'm gonna steal that. And he took it. And then he ran out of the house and he climbed all the way down to the beanstalk. And he got home and he had a fancy harp and maybe did something with it, I don't know. And then the next day, he climbed back up and he saw the giant again.
But then this giant has a lady chicken hen. The giant has a hen that lays golden eggs, and Jack sees those eggs, and Jack's like, that's the cash my mom is looking for. We could buy so many cows with these golden eggs. You know how many magic beans we could get with this. And so Jack's like, hey, I'm gonna steal this hen.
And he took it and he started to climb back down, but the giant saw him this time.
And then the giant's like, hey, give me back my hen.
You can't take her. She's my best friend. And Jack was like, oh no, oh no.
And he comes back down and he's got a harp and he's got a chicken and everything's great.
And then he's like, here mom, money, I don't know what this is.
End of the story, giant comes back down. He's like, oh my god, fee fi fo fum. And then Jack kills him, I guess.
Something happens and I guess Jack kills the giant. Unclear about the ending.
And then he goes up and kills a giant because the giant was angry, and then everybody's happy and he's a murderer, but it's fine.
The end.